437 days ago, I went on vacation without my phone. 7 days ago, I finished the video documenting that experience. We have an entire to-do list to get through today. We're gonna start with explaining why it took me so long to make this phone video, and then we're gonna go into figuring out the great phone mystery, which is everyone actually addicted to their phones? And then we're gonna have a sneak preview of the phone video itself for my live studio audience. Everybody say hey. Hey. Nice. We're also gonna have a big question at the end of this presentation. Truthfully, I had no clue how they would respond. The big question is, who will commit to one singular day without your phone? I thought maybe 1 or 2 people would raise their hand, but what if they didn't? What if no one did? If everyone raised their hand, then this clearly meant something to them. But if no one did, were the last 427 days even worth it? The phone video and the chaos that it brought to my life. There's 3 main reasons that the phone video took so long, and each reason kind of gives birth to like a question or 2 or 3, and each question kind of gives birth to more questions. And then the more I looked at this, the more I realized that it's just a March Madness bracket. Why did the phone video take so long to make? Reason 1 of 3 is something I call overscaling. So the first question that we're gonna ask here is how even make video? And the way that you make a video is by filmmaking. That's also the way that you make a movie or any other kind of production. And basically it culminates in 3 things. Pre-production, which is script writing and shot listing, and that helps you organize what it is that you're making. Production, which is fulfilling everything that you brought up or made or came up with in pre-production. And then post-production is the culmination of all those things in your editing software and basically just making the story come to life. Overscaling is my term for too many ideas in one project to the point where it becomes a little too big to handle. This is a thing that I do very often, and within filmmaking, I definitely do it the most in pre-production. Why did these things take such a long time? Like, why did the phone video take so long to make? It all happens here. This is where all of the problems started to happen. To put it into perspective, pre-production lasted from October 13th, 2024 to February 1st, 2025. That's right, that's 111 days. 111 days is an insane amount of time to just be planning a video, not even filming it or doing anything. And in that 111 days, I studied storytelling, I studied shot listing, and I turned my 9-day journal from that vacation into a script. And I wrote the shot list of 64 shots and or scenes. What I mean by shots or scenes, like some scenes of that 64 might be one shot and some of them might be a string of shots. So pre-production was basically a big idea session, and it gave me 2 scrambled egg ideas. A scrambled egg idea is something that's good for you, but it just scrambles your brain logistically. I kind of made that up just to be funny and silly. So my 2 scrambled egg ideas really scrambled the production of this video, which lasted from February 1st, 2025 to October 15th, 2025. That's right, 256 days. That's a crazy long time to be filming stuff for a YouTube video. So scrambled egg idea number 1, and I gotta take a deep breath for this one. What if the scripted voiceover was actually an interview scene where I tell the viewers a story and it's staged in front of a really cool backdrop with all of the pictures that I took from the phoneless vacation? And then what if I read the entire script again in front of a projector that plays the corresponding clip to a corresponding color scheme and additionally corresponds to an underlying theme? And then during the video of the telling of the story, it switches between these 2 scenes seamlessly so that an illusion is created where the story seems to be told in one moment with changing backgrounds, but is actually just 2 separate recordings. And what if me and my poor friend Brandon filmed this in 1 day? Now you might be thinking, Jake, if you filmed it in 1 day, then how did production take so long? How did it take 256 days? Well, scrambled egg idea number 1 gave me something that they call confidence. And this is where everything started to go wrong. We filmed it in 1 day, we did it. And I organized that footage, and I had faith that this video could be done and completed very fast. And that created a tragedy. And the tragedy is that I overscaled big time. I was sold on that color scheme, so I had another idea, which leads us to scrambled egg idea number 2. What if the majority of the 64 scenes were fully colored in the corresponding color of that part of the video? Now, this is where you guys have to get interactive because I want you to read this to me, okay? Are you ready?
Dear Jake, you can just use LED lights to convey the colors that you want. It would be easy. You can connect them to your phone and change them just like that. How would be a sensible and easy thing to do. So you'll just do that, right? Right?
Wrong.
Oh.
That is not what I did. I decided I was going to use real colorful props to fill the frame in as many scenes as possible, and it was going to be beautiful. And it was. But I have to find every prop, move every prop, create the good lighting, probably move every prop again, and then film it for 7 seconds, and that's the end of that clip. Sometimes it would take hours to just do one scene, and that was on days when I was actually filming something. It's not like I made videos all day, every day. Basically, what we have right here is, that's a shot that I set up probably in an hour maybe or less than that, but I had to find all those blue things and put them there and then set the camera up and then film the shot. For this scene, I put an entire bedroom outside while I was also trying to race the sunset so that it didn't get too dark too fast. For this scene, I wanted it to pan from the green chaotic side to the blue chaotic side, but I wanted me to be in the middle and it pan across me, but I couldn't do both. I couldn't pan the camera and be in it, so I actually had to recruit my friend Tyler, who is with us in the audience tonight, and he had to put on my outfit and then be me for the video, which actually turned out really great, and you're gonna see it later. And that was the straw. That scrambledly beautiful idea was the straw that broke the productive camel's back. And some days I honestly thought that I was never gonna finish this video. I did finish recording all of it, and that leads us to post-production, which lasted from October 15th, 2025 to December 8th, 2025, which was not that long ago. And honestly, editing was not that bad. Now you might be thinking, Jake, what about the music? Where are we gonna get the music for this whole thing? Dear Jake, you'll just use your favorite songs, right? You'll just put some popular songs or songs that fit the vibe, right? Copyright. Unfortunately, all of my favorite tunes for this would have been copyrighted, and I couldn't put them in there. Dear Jake, you'll just use copyright-free stock music, right? You pay monthly for royalty-free music, right? Well, I do pay monthly for that. But this leads us to scrambled egg idea number 3, which I didn't actually know I was gonna have. But here it is. What if I just made the music? I'm a pianist. I have a recording software and a keyboard. What if I just scored the music like they do for movies, with an overlying theme that is played a few times during the video, as well as environmental music all throughout the video? That won't be that hard, right? Right? That was the hardest part of all of this, I'm not gonna lie. What was I thinking? This is Michael B. Jordan. He's an American actor and producer, and also the greatest basketball player of all time. Michael B. Jordan has 706 total career wins and 366 losses, which is crazy to me, more wins than losses. So I thought it was gonna be the other way around. I thought that he would have more losses than wins. Basically, I was gonna use that as an example to say that while making the music, I had about 706 failures to every one success for making this music. But apparently Michael B. Jordan is better than I thought. So back to our reasons and questions bracket. If that really is a bracket, then we'll just say that Michael B. Jordan is the champion of it all. 706 wins is crazy. Okay, so all of that was reason number 1 that the phone video took so stinking long to make. So reason number 2 of 3 is something I call brain tax, which is, you know taxes, everybody knows taxes. Brain tax is a little different. Brain tax is a term I made for how my creative ideas tax my brain of its time and thought. I can only think about so many things at once, and creative ideas are very taxing to my brain. Brian tax is when your friend Brian takes food off your plate because you're eating at his house and he's like, Brian tax, and you're like, really, Brian, really? I don't even know why I put that in there. I don't even know anybody named Brian. So let's go to the brain tax diagram. Basically, this is my brain. This is all its capacity, everything it's able to do. We'll put a big one in there for spirituality, I think. We'll put one in there for friends and family, and then one in there for YouTube and businesses. I just think about it all the time. I think it's interesting. But you'll notice that there's still half of a brain left. And that's because half of my brain has been, I gotta finish the phone video, I gotta finish the phone video, I gotta finish the phone video. And if you know me well in this room, which everyone does, you know this to be true. I talk about it all the time. Something had to happen. Nobody can really handle that forever. So the great division had to happen. I decided to divide my brain up into other projects, the phone video, and then everything else in life. For example, in that 437 days that I've been making the phone video, I also made these 22 YouTube videos and a couple more that I didn't list. I've also taken roughly and edited over 3,000 photos. So needless to say, that was a lot of brain tax. And that slowly just put the phone video kind of on the back burner. Reason number 3 of 3 that the phone video took so long to make, that silly phone. The whole reason I did any of this was for that silly phone. That silly phone had done so much to me. It had ruined my creativity. I had wasted so much time on it, and it controlled so heavily my productivity for so many years. But the day that I got home from that vacation, everything changed. I actually threw my phone in the trash can and said never again. Or at least that's what I thought was gonna happen. Nothing changed. I actually check my Instagram all the time. I let my entertainment rule my life, and I would sit for hours scrolling and scrolling, and sometimes I literally wanted to stop, but it felt like my body wouldn't let me. And I was living in some kind of dopamine entertainment nightmare. Every time that old version of me slipped out during my year of making this video, I had to write the phone video or edit the phone video or watch the phone video, and I heard the words that I wrote on that trip, which was about a better life, and it was about a productive life, and it was about a life free of distractions. And over time, a new version of me slowly emerged. So what happened? How did I go from so badly addicted to social media and my phone and entertainment to free and productive and able to think and create a complicated project like this? And that leads us to the to-do list. Before we move on, I have to point this out. And boom, what do we have here? Amidst a video about why phones are problematic, he pulls out a phone. I'm glad I didn't notice this while I was presenting, because that would have made me even more nervous about the big question. Next up on the list, we're gonna figure out that great phone mystery. Is everyone actually addicted to their phone? And first things first, we're gonna define that term. And basically, addicted is physically and mentally dependent on a particular substance and unable to stop taking it without incurring adverse effects. This was a quote by my friend Google. And we'll just say, for the sake of it being a substance, that entertainment is the substance here, or information, or however you might look at it. But what the phone gives you is the substance. So that's why I think it warrants people being addicted to it. Second things second, we're gonna do some more crowd involvement here. Raise your hand if you have a phone. Nice. Raise your hand if you have social media or have had social media. Alan, you've had social media. Yeah, be real. That's the biggest social media of them all. Raise your hand if your phone provides some way of entertainment for you. Valid. Here's something to think about. Everywhere you go, every day, all day, you have entertainment in your pocket. It's not just like good entertainment. It's not like a book with a story or a joke book with jokes back to back, or like a newspaper with a lot of cool and interesting information and necessary information. You don't even have a set of movies that you watch over and over again in your pocket. So what is it that's in your pocket? You have unlimited, infinite short bursts of perfectly curated photos and videos and information just for you at any moment as fast as you want it. And that, honestly, that's amazing. Technologically speaking. When in history have we ever had such an opportunity to have such perfect entertainment? So third things third, what's the problem? If information and entertainment has been kind of perfected now, then what's the issue? And I think the issue is that infinite is just a little bit too much. Consuming information is a relatively new thing to humanity, especially this much of it. And we will always end up consuming too much because of a thing that they call dopamine. Dopamine is a thing in your brain that says, that was good, let's do that again. I heard some doctor explain it like this. When you run a mile or do an ice bath, it's painful. So your mind produces dopamine to offset that feeling, and you end up with a rush of dopamine from it. But it came at the cost of that hard work. That's why it's good for that dopamine to happen. So that kind of creates a dopamine problem. And the problem is that when we scroll on our phones, it's really, really easy for our brains to be rewarded in short bursts of dopamine. So it's kind of like this: scroll, 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 laugh, scroll, 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 laugh. When we scroll a few times and then laugh, or think something is interesting, or think something is funny, or we like something, or maybe we even get mad about something, it's like our brains are recognizing that scroll as hard work, and the result is dopamine, even though it's not hard work, it's super easy. That's the first problem I have. The second problem that I have with it is that it's kind of an endless loop. There's no climax to scrolling. There's no end to it. It's not like reading a book and finishing it, or doing a workout and getting done with it. It just keeps giving it to you, and it never stops. Which keeps our brain hungry for more dopamine. The phone will always feed you something more and more curated to what you like. Our brains eventually lose the ability to recognize what actually deserves a burst of dopamine. So why would we ever want to finish a book, or do a big creative project like this, or do a long physical workout when we could just get that dopamine hit continuously all day, hundreds of times a day? Okay, so that was all basically opinion based. Now I'm going to kind of back it up with some stats, or at least give you some things that are not my opinion, even though my opinion is honestly pretty valid. So some stats. Teens who have used social media were 2 to 3 times more likely to have certain ideation than teens who were using social media in more of a controlled way. This is from theguardian.com. A large analysis of over 26,000 students found that social media addiction, which involves reward chasing and dopamine spikes, is significantly correlated with anxiety and depression. This means that higher use goes hand in hand with these mental health challenges. This is from PubMed.com. To put that into perspective, 348 million people live in America. 310 million people actively use social media. 24 million people in America say that they have depression. And I'm not going to say that the phones are the main reason for this, that they're the main cause of depression, but I'm definitely going to say that they just do not help. There's no way that that helps with that issue. So now here's some more stats about productivity. Up to 78% of social media users says it distracts them from daily tasks, and the distraction it causes has been linked to as much as 40% decrease in productivity. What? The majority of the users of a product say that it distracts them from their daily work, from their daily task. Well, the memes are funny. I gotta have the memes. I gotta send those to my friends. I gotta have the information. What if I miss something important? I gotta see what my friends are up to. It's not that bad. And 78% of these people that are saying things like that are having their productivity completely flipped on its head. Heavy social media use alters the reward and attention systems in the brain, weakening self-control and cognitive function, which in turn is associated with poor task performance and decreased productivity. That's from PMC.com, I think. So back to the question, is everyone actually addicted to their phone? I think everyone with a phone is in some way, small or big, addicted to it, or at least heavily reliant on it. And the reason is, it's in the design. All the apps on your phone are designed to keep you on them for as long as possible. That's how they make money. The economical ecosystem of the internet is insanely well constructed, and it doesn't work if people like you and me aren't viewing it as much as we can in a day. That's why literally billions of dollars has been spent to keep you engaged with it as much as possible. They need you to play their game, but you do not have to. Everyone might not be addicted to their phone, but at the very least, every individual is not living up to their brain's full potential, and I fully believe that. You were designed to create. You were created to create, not to consume. I want everybody in this room to keep that in mind. And with that, we are now ready for the big sneak peek, and then we will ask the big question. Now presenting the phone video. As my friends and family sat here watching the video, and as I watched along with them, I really couldn't help but feel so happy that I had finally finished it. And I'd finally made it to this moment. Well, there's only one thing left. How are they going to respond to the big question? No one booed, so that's probably good. All right, well, moment of truth. I wonder if anybody's going to raise their hand. We've got a big question to ask. Are you willing to give me a small donation? No? Okay, thank you. All right, enough playing around. Who is willing to commit to one singular day entirely without your phone? We actually all talked afterwards, and the boys on the couch started planning the day that they were going to leave their phone behind. So I consider that a complete success. 100% of the people in the room said that they would leave their phone for a day. This is what I think. Think of how much better a life you could live with less time scrolling. If you leave today with anything, it's just that, like, you might not have to get rid of your phone for a whole week or a whole vacation or ever at all, but you should limit and think strategically about what you entertain yourself with, because entertainment is like, it's passivity. It just dulls us and numbs us and fills our brain with things that are ultimately unnecessary. Special thanks to Tyler, Alan, Roger, and Sloop for helping me with a couple different shots. Special thanks to Brandon Johnson for helping film so much of this and inspiring me to keep going even when I was tired of making this video. Special thanks to all of my friends and families for supporting this project and hearing me talk about it for 437 days. And special thanks to my parents and my Nana for taking me on the phoneless vacation and for putting up with all of my shenanigans. I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. That's the end. That's all. Don't forget to watch the phone video. It's linked right here on screen. It's also in the description. And if you want to support other creative people's projects just like this, make sure to go pick up a shirt from redbeanie.store.